You want to watch some basketball highlights?
Yo, people don't know about Len Bias. He literally was in this fucking area.
Yeah, that's because Shamir at one point went to University of Maryland, and I told him, I was like, okay, you remember college CP Liquors? Like the College Park Liquors? To the left of it, there's a barbershop, and if you look into the barbershop, there's a Len Bias jersey right there.
That shit is crazy about Len Bias.
That's the whole story. No, the thing is, when you think about it, he was LeBron before LeBron. Like when you watch his highlights,
he was big. They said like because it would have been cool to see his battles with like Michael Jordan
because they
played in college. Same time they collided.
Yeah, but Jordan had a way better team. It was like almost like wasn't even fair.
Yeah, but it would have been cool. But I like it's always interesting hearing like the actual Celtics talk about like what they lost. Because they were like Larry Bird was like, man, I was planning to retire.
That would have been like, the craziest team.
He's like, I was planning to retire, but when Len Bias died, I had to like really push my back like forward because he was supposed to continue for me.
And that's crazy because he would have had a red arrow. Red arrow crazy. That's huge.
Yeah. Man, the Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish.
He had some shitty friends, right? That's what happened.
No, it was just, you know what it was? It was just pure cocaine in that era.
It's also the 80s, bro.
Yeah.
PG County, 80s.
Where's he originally from?
He's from, Upper Marlboro?
Oh, so he's from the area.
Yeah, he's from this area. He's from this area. Yeah,
he's from PG.
There's a dope.
That's crazy.
His 30 for 30 is really dope.
Yeah. That was one of the first ones I saw.
The saddest part about it was, all right, after his Len died, his other brother died too in a shooting, and like they went to go interview the father, and like the father was like, he's like, and then Len died, and he's like, you could tell he was he was getting the names confused. He's like, this dude just lost both sons in 3 years or something like that.
So crazy.
It's sad as shit,
dude.
But he went from #1 overall pick and then to dying to like
2 days later.
Yeah. What year was that?
80.
Eight?
I think it was 86.
Yeah, it was 86.
I think the Celtics just came off their like best season. That 86 Celtics team.
They just came off a championship. How they got the #1 overall pick is such
it's probably trading picks.
It was from like 2 years before that pick. They had done it was like a lagged thing that they got.
Because it was weird that they had a high pick for such an amazing team.
Because I think it was the prior season they were awarded that pick for like years ahead, and they ended up winning and got the chance to
that was their last 80s championship was 86. And so and also with the Celtics there was Reggie Lewis who he was drafted late 80s and then he passed away from a heart attack during practice. And
was it cocaine?
No. He apparently, since he was a kid, he had heart issues.
Okay.
And then one day at a Celtics practice, he just collapsed.
That's crazy.
And he was in his like late 20s or something like that. Or actually, he's probably 25, honestly. But he was supposed to be like the continuation, like athletic guy. He's really good. Supposed to continue from Larry Bird, but also dies.
White guy?
Reggie Lewis was black, and he's from Baltimore.
Damn.
He went to Dunbar High School. His teammate was Muggsy Bogues in high school.
I remember that.
Hold on, Muggsy Bogues is from Baltimore?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Muggsy,
what?
Muggsy has
he just went to Georgia Tech.
What's up with Baltimore and the short athletes?
So, Muggsy was on on a high school team. I think they went undefeated for like 4 years straight.
Dunbar High School, yeah.
They didn't lose a single fucking game.
That's crazy. I did not know Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy high school team was more stacked than some NBA teams when you look at it. Like when you see like when they grew up. Like because it was like I think it was 5 of them. All 5 of them went to the NBA.
Really?
I think something or had the potential to. I think one of them kind of like they kind of messed it up. But like I think even the people on the bench, because it was the way that they were recruiting for that team, was insane. Yeah, everyone, even till this day, people still want to play at Dunbar.
Yeah.
So what part of Baltimore is that in?
I think isn't Dunbar DC?
No, Dunbar is in Baltimore.
Yeah, okay.
DC, I'm trying to think what the big private
there's a few of them.
Isn't there the one out of Montrose Christian?
That's Rockville.
There's Oak Hill too.
Oak Hill is in Southern Virginia.
Yeah, but it's all in the same. They recruit from all over the place.
I had a roommate, my freshman year roommate in college. He was from the place where Oak Hill Academy was, like small ass country Virginia town. Oh, it's called. It's called Mouth of Wilson, Virginia.
Mouth of Wilson.
Mouth of Wilson. So those athletes, think about this. Think about this. Those athletes, they live in a dorm basically, but there's nothing else outside.
Yeah, true.
Bro, there's a headshot of Carmelo Anthony in high school with his fro, and in the back, bro, you see like the Blue Ridge Mountains.
That's funny as shit.
Carmelo's from Baltimore.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So I think he was born in New York, then grew up Baltimore, and then his high school, I think, he went to Oak Hill Academy for high school, but grew up in Baltimore. Oak Hill, then Syracuse.
You're kind of tall. You play basketball, right?
I do, yeah.
I can guess that by your knowledge. You have knowledge of so much stuff, but...
Not as much as like I used to, but I need to get back to it because...
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I'm 36.
36.
We're the same age, 36.
Word.
Yeah.
Nice.
When were you born, actually? What's your birthday?
January 7th.
Okay. I'm October 24th.
So yours at the end of yours. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you end up a year ahead of me. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Technically, we're the same age though.
Well, you're a year ahead of me.
Nah.
If you were born in 86 and you were born in January, you were born at the top of your... All right, anyways.
Yeah.
We're old as shit, dude.
Nah, that's fine, bro. Like, I mean, 36 is not that old. Like, I think, to me, I think, bro, even a lot of people in the 40s also like are... Like my brother, he's in the 40s. He's not like old.
It's all about how you take care of yourself.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like there's people.
We have a friend, Remy Musio, and he's like 26 years old.
There's people
48.
There's people in their 20s that like just look like they're decaying. Like it's kind of sad.
I think it's the way that life beats you up. I mean, or you let life beat you up.
Yeah.
Genetics too. Like the part of the world you're from, I feel like that plays into it.
That does.
Your genetic diet. Like, I don't know if you guys, like, are both your parents are immigrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever noticed or thought about the idea of how now we live in America, in the climate of the region we're in, and how that's slowly morphed our DNA?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like different plants or climate or animals, different things we have to get, our skin and body has to get used to, like allergy wise, like that our parents never would have had to think about.
Also, you might be eating, like, in terms of like produce, you might be eating something not native to the continent.
True.
And if you did eat something native to the continent, it might prolong you. But
that's interesting.
That's a great point.
That's very
because like sometimes we eat fruits that are like it's wintertime. This fruit does not grow in the winter. Yeah, it's probably from South America where it's warmer at the moment. But I wonder, like, in terms of like the natural stuff stuff from the earth that we produce, is it also like the season we do it? Are we supposed to do it when it's cold or hot? Are we only supposed to eat like things at the right season?
But the problem is now just with the population, right? It's like
it's you need to.
Yeah,
and that's, I mean, you throw in the genetically modified foods, and then you basically eat what's available. So like now you got apples available 24/7. You see the shit where like they made an apple that like doesn't, like it won't go bad. Like it'll stay crisp and juicy
fresh,
for
That's crazy.
It's fucking weird. It's like McDonald's food. Like,
but also it's just like the surpluses that there are. Like, you know, when they say like government cheese, like, you know about that?
Yeah.
Like the program.
What do you mean?
The thing is, they, you know, when you're growing crops, especially like in the U.S., like let's say corn or potatoes. Well, corn was super popular at one point. Still is.
Yeah.
And
they
so
use it for soy.
Yeah, and so you would subsidize like people to live in like places like Iowa or like the Dakotas to grow this, but there was such a surplus, and that doesn't mean these foods are healthy. But like, let's say dairy, there was so much like support for like dairy farmers, and so there ended up being such a surplus of like cheese. So they're like, we don't know what to do with it. So there was so much that now it's part of a government program where you can just get it for free.
So do you remember like when we were growing up, they had everything had cheese in it. When they were doing stuffed crust cheese, they were promoting the shit out of cheese.
Milk was propaganda.
Yeah. And then they literally had cheese commercials too, like made with real cheese. They used to promote the shit out of cheese.
Yeah, even the chips commercials, like for Cheetos, were out there. Like, a lot.
Yeah, they emphasized the shit out of the cheese part.
The yogurts, the milks.
They did have a
chocolate milk commercials.
Massive Jerry push. The mustache milks. They still
that
do
whole
that
God
shit.
milk shit was bullshit.
Yeah. When I was a kid, might be TMI, but when I was a kid, we used to get milk and cheese from like government too, because there was just so much of it.
That's crazy. Let me introduce our guests. Let's bring in the show. Episode 6, right, Brandon? Episode 6, Did You Order? I'm your host, Al Ali. At the far end of the couch, I got my co-host, Ish Hussein. What's up, buddy? How you feeling? You good?
I'm good.
And we got a very interesting special guest today. I met this guy through a few friends, and we've had a few conversations at a few parties. I was like, this guy is super interesting page. Been all around the world. His name is Haitham. Haitham, round of applause for Haitham.
And
when I met Haitham, this is how he introduced me. He was like, my name's Haitham, like, hey, thumb. So if you need to know how to say his name, that's the best way to say it.
I'll do it for you. Hey, thumb.
It was very scripted. I can't imagine how many people you tell that.
Oh, I've been doing that since I was 11, probably.
Hey, when you send it on a text message, do you do like the
Oh yeah. You can write my name in emojis. Yeah. That was like an older joke. Yeah, you can write my name in emojis.
I'm changing your name in my phone book to that after this podcast. Bro. But no, we appreciate you coming on. Haitham is been around the world. Your Instagram and social media, you drop facts, interesting stuff about geographical history, and I mean that was an oxymoron. I think I just said geographical history.
History of geography. There you go.
History and geography.
History and geography.
They collide a lot.
Yeah, and I love looking at your page and just the random facts that you give us. And I was literally looking at it right before this. And how did you just want to learn all of it? Like, what started you caring about everything you love?
Yeah, so I mean, so for those that don't know, my background, I'm Palestinian American. I grew up both in the U.S. and Palestine as well. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, from an early age, you're very familiar right away with like geopolitics, with the names of places, maybe the names of leaders as well. Mm-hmm. So, and there were so many like different government organizations where you'd see their different flags, the names of the countries. So, and also like I had an atlas once when I was a kid. I didn't like to read books. I wanted something with like colors and pictures.
Hell yeah.
So the atlas was one way, and I could just kind of like look at the atlas and point to some of these institutions with their flags, with their names. And, when you're a kid in the Middle East, you watch the news a lot really early on. So you have like a kind of a global perspective in that. But then, as I got older and, now you have a job, you have some money, you have some time, which is a privilege to have, it was like, okay, I like learning about these places, but I want to go to these places and see like, what are these people talking about? How do people live? What do they think about? How do they interact with their neighbors and each other? So that's what kind of drove me to that, is just like having that educational and giving context. It's always nice to meet like a mosaic of people,
Yeah. So that's awesome. So was your love for kind of history and geopolitics? That's a word, right?
Yeah.
All right, geopolitics. Was that more based in kind of your region?
Yeah. So, I mean, especially with my region, because you're going through active events as they're happening.
Yeah.
So, I guess back in the Middle East, a lot of stuff, surprisingly, was televised almost in detail. Mm-hmm. And so you had so many cameras, different angles, so many things. And also, sometimes when you traveled between countries, like let's say I would go to Jordan or Egypt, let's say you'll notice some things like, oh, they have pictures and paintings of their presidents or their kings. The U.S. doesn't really paint their leaders all the time. But then you also think like, oh, some of them are kings or monarchs, and some of them are just presidents. Why does one feel different than the other? So you, at a young age, you don't know the answers, but you're asking a lot of questions.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: when you were getting news in the Middle East, what was the main outlet that you were getting them from?
That's a great question.
There was a lot of different ones. So I guess at the time, early 2000s, Al Jazeera was really popping off because in the time that I lived in Palestine, there were a few big events. Aside from what we were dealing with in Palestine, it was the Iraq War, so the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. And then, it was still a continuation of 9/11 and also like Afghanistan and all of that. So
War on Terror.
Yeah, and we were seeing so many interesting like angles and crazy pictures There's a lot of discourse because Iraq was like one country away.
Oh yeah, hold on. So that means you're like 10 years old in early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah. I was like
because
like
if he's 28,
yeah.
You know what I mean? We're in 2023. You were young.
Yeah, I was like 8 years
That's
old,
crazy.
7 years old. Yeah, and the thing is, it was crazy because sometimes kids were talking about it. Like
on the news?
No, like I mean, with each other.
Oh yeah.
Like we were like, hey, did you hear about this?
Whoa!
Did you hear about this shooting?
So what's crazy to me about that? It's crazy to say that because like, all right, this like the situation that's going on in Israel and Palestine right now. It's like I always think, how are those kids gonna grow up? Like that's just a fucked up environment for a child to be exposed on both sides of it like that. Like literally your neighbor.
They grow up fast.
Yeah. And the thing is like
they grow up fast.
You've seen videos of like here when you show racism, right? And then you show like two kids from the opposite race playing with each other. I feel like that's there, but like that gets completely brutalized way earlier.
Yeah. But I think it's like we also know our realities and like conditions. So
what do you mean?
In the sense of, you know, you're angry. Like you grow up like kind of just angry, frustrated. You have way more questions than you will ever get answers.
Yeah.
And then you have more each day. So you live with like this pain, this anger, this like you just feel frustrated because you don't feel like you can do much. But you're like, man, people are playing like a chess game with us in a sense. So that's how it like always felt.
Like
you were like a pawn in the end.
Damn.
It dehumanized you in a way.
When did you leave Palestine?
Well, I got to Palestine at age 6 or 7. It was 2002, and then I left in 2006 back to Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were born in Maryland, right?
Born in Maryland, left, and then came back to Maryland.
Interesting, man. So when you came back here, you continued this pursuit of knowledge, it seems like, right? At what point did you start traveling in your life? And like, how many places have you been? Start off with that.
So how many places have I been? I think of like countries by like UN standards. I think I've been to 23.
All right, non-UN standards?
I mean, then they would be like territories or areas. But I would say by like standard definitions, I've been to, I think, 23 countries.
And you're young, so that means you're well on your way to like...
Yeah, I'm trying to hit that 30 before 30.
Yeah,
so.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, just 30 countries before age 30. So
you're going to do that.
I'm 28 right now.
What's your favorite? What's the most favorite place that you've been at?
So I'm very sentimental when it comes to my first trip. When I say my first trip, I mean like just without family, without like someone to watch me.
I was gonna say, do you go by yourself or like is there a friend that goes with you or like is it interchangeable every time?
I've done a mix. I've done trips where I was by myself and I met someone on the other end, or I've gone with a friend, or I've just gone alone and had no expectation and then would meet people. And there were times where I was just by myself, just nobody, just you're by yourself. So it's been a toss-up.
So the first trip by yourself
was Japan.
Ooh, Japan. You know what? That's like one of the ones that's on my bucket list. And
dude, I'll recommend you a lot of stuff.
Man, I've seen so many pictures of like, all right, so this random thing came on my Instagram feed. It was like Japan in the fall.
Oh, wow.
You got to see that thing.
It's really nice.
It's beautiful.
Even in the spring with the cherry blossoms.
Every single picture I've seen, like there's two places.
Japan, they have the best trees.
Yeah,
they
really
do.
The bonsai, right?
Yeah, and bonsai.
That's the best tree.
Well, think about this.
It's like an artistic country. Like everything you see of it is very artistic. Singapore's
like
that
clean,
too.
right?
Singapore's like
that's part of their culture.
Singapore's
a clean one.
Let me ask you this about Japan. Like, what is it about they have a very kind of strict cleanliness to them, like their order, right? Like, what is that?
So I believe this is like a theory, but you know, with some background to it. But I think it's because it's in a lot of East Asian cultures, it's about the society, it's about the cleanliness. Not cleanliness. It's about just society, structure, and looking out for like your people, your family. It's not really an individualistic culture.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, if the society is hurt, like if you're hurt or if the society is hurt, you have to be part of it to like reshape it and continue. So it's kind of like a responsibility to like the entire public. And there is like a lot of pressure that people feel, especially like societal pressures. I think there's some good things about it in terms of community, but I think at least for Japan, which is like very like the work culture is very strict, and you know, you sometimes it's almost like you have to meet a standard of like perfection.
Right. Yeah, I definitely
so
sense that. Yeah. So what made Japan, outside of you being sentimental about it being your first trip? The cat keeps scaring Ish.
I'm like, what the fuck is
okay,
going on? I'm thinking one time he's just gonna leap for it. Like,
oh my god!
Yo, I'm thinking
it'll be a great clip if that happens.
I'm thinking
it'll be a great.
In my
clip.
head, he's gonna go once. All right, this is the time I'm gonna jump.
I hope the cat comes in. Man.
Yeah, he's gonna straight leap for it. Like,
the cat never comes for episodes. It's here for Haitham's episode. We're doing an interesting one. So I want to know, like, with Japan, outside of being sentimental, what was it about Japan?
I think it was. The food was amazing.
Ooh, hibachi?
Was that?
Did I just make myself look dumb as shit?
What'd you say? Hibachi?
Is that
hibachi? No, I think it's just like the
Hirachi.
prep.
I said Hirachi.
Hirachi?
Sorry, yeah, never mind.
Isn't that like a shoe?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I didn't want to be one of those things, and you know when you say like orange chicken, and they're like, "That's not real Chinese food."
Oh my god!
Did I just learn hibachi's not real Japanese?
I mean, I think isn't hibachi just like a way of prep?
Yeah, I think it's just
but it's Japanese, right? Like,
I mean, I think so.
Okay.
Isn't it Korean?
Could be.
Nah, you look crazy now. All right, you look crazy.
Flipping on me.
So,
hey man, I'm not a culinary expert.
Yeah, man, I mean,
I just eat.
So what about the food?
It's the type of food.
What about the food?
I think it was. So let's say with. I mean, of course, like I love sushi and I like seafood, but I feel like some of my favorite foods were. Anything with curry as well, like in Japanese curry is very different than like South Asia in a sense.
Like sweeter?
I would say it's like it's more like a paste. Like it's more like solid versus like a sauce in a sense. And like anything with like eggs, or actually one thing that seemed like a delicacy in Japan was cheese. Actually,
government cheese.
That's cheese,
crazy,
bro.
Dog.
Yeah,
that's the solution. The U.S. has to export its cheese
to Japan. Dude.
It's a shitty cheese though, like U.S. cheese compared to other cheeses.
Nah, they need us on the cabinet. We figured that.
I mean,
economic out real quick.
You ever seen the U.S. cheese that doesn't melt when you hit the light into it? Like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
So the cheese, what do you mean cheese? Like it's not Japanese cheese.
It's not
right?
Japanese cheese. It's just
great.
that like adding cheese. I guess it's like whoa, you're gonna add cheese. Like it's like
it's like bacon for Americans.
It's like
you added bacon.
Adding guac. It's like adding guac.
Okay.
It's like you're about to add cheese for an extra 1,000 yen or something.
That's hilarious.
Interesting.
I think 1,000 yen is like $1.
I was just so me asking this:
100 yen.
What is your favorite type of food?
So I have to go with categories on this.
Okay, yeah.
I could just say one, but okay. So I'll within Palestinian food, I'll go small. Then expand.
This is where I was going with this.
Yeah. Okay. So within Palestinian food, there is a food called maftoul. Maftoul is kind of like couscous.
I have had this. I've had
You've had it.
Have you had couscous before? The North African dish? Yeah. So maftoul is our version of that. It's a different type of grain and it's prepared a little bit differently, but how we got that food, which is very synonymous with like North Africa, like Morocco, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, is because within Palestine,
couscous.
It's the North African dish.
Okay.
But ours is called maftoul.
The food's so nice you had to name it twice, right?
It's so nice you got to name it twice. In Arabic, it's kind of a bad word too.
Oh,
if you just say the one.
Oh yeah, kus. Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's interesting.
But it's from because there was pilgrimages to Mecca, and on the way to Mecca, you would stop through Jerusalem. So a lot of North Africans who were on pilgrimage would stop by Jerusalem, and sometimes they would leave like recipes with them. This is like centuries ago. And so from that, from like the couscous recipe, we kind of like took it and made something else out of it, almost in the same look, but different grain, different like toppings. But inspired by the North African one. So that's like my favorite Palestinian dish. It's a little history with that too.
That's dope.
That's dope.
Expanding.
Let me ask you this: have you found?
Let's. I want to hear the. He said he got categories.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out what restaurant to go to get this shit.
If you want one in DC, one. There's one called Mama Aisha's.
Mama Aisha's.
Yeah, it's in Adams Morgan. Yeah, Adams Morgan. It's been around since the 60s, I believe.
All right.
Mama Aisha's.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They got good stuff. They got knafa, the dessert. It's like a cheese dessert.
Okay.
So you got
the government cheese.
Yeah, the government cheese, bro.
Right okay, so outside of Palestine.
So if I'm going Middle East and generally, shawarma, of course. It's our fast food. Like we love it.
Yeah.
Go anywhere.
New Yorkers love it.
Yeah, bro, it's amazing.
What's your favorite American food?
Favorite American food? I gotta say like buffalo wings.
My man,
honestly.
My man.
Or actually Nashville hot chicken like sandwiches.
Okay,
good.
There we talking.
Yeah, anything fried chicken related.
So cheese and chicken,
chicken and cheese.
Yeah, I'm like my stomach's from the South.
Man.
Like I love all that
banana pudding.
Dude,
banana pudding sounds so good.
Yeah,
my favorite Southern
anything from like. What do they call it? Soul food?
Soul food.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Bro,
we like good. Oohs and ahs. We got to bring it up again. Like every time we do Sally's in DC, which we're doing Friday the 13th. I don't know if this will come out. Probably not. But
oh wow.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. We're doing a show. But we go to after we do Sally's on U Street, we go to Oohs and ahs every time. Amazing soul food. If you like soul food, you gave us a spot. We had to give you a spot.
I'll be down. Yeah.
Okay, so American, Palestinian. Japanese, you was eating the Japanese cheese, sushi, seafood.
The cheese wasn't my favorite.
Oh, have you had octopus?
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, in Japan, I had for breakfast. I had octopus head on a stick.
Was it
a squid? It was a squid head. Sorry.
Squid head.
Let me ask you: is that the weirdest
thing
thing you've eaten?
No,
it can't.
I was gonna say
that so easily.
No. Okay. What's your top 3 weirdest things?
I mean, I've had frog legs in Singapore. It's just it's like calamari but with bones. That's like it's that rubbery texture.
Have you eaten frog before or alligator?
Man,
no.
Look, you wouldn't think.
You wouldn't think like New Orleans. You ever been to New Orleans?
No, my stomach ain't from the Cajun South.
Look. You wouldn't think this shit about me. I've fucking eaten alligator.
I know, but.
Oh no, I haven't.
You're Guyanese.
Gator bites.
I don't mean this shit.
Gator bites. I've had.
So it tastes like chicken. Like it's just like a more gamey chicken. That's what it tastes like to me.
Oh man. See, I am a very picky eater. Where like you gotta get me super. I had to get super drunk to try calamari.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
Interesting.
Like I cried in kindergarten. I want to try to give me a hot dog, like maybe because I was like, "Yo, no homo, yo, what are you doing? That's a glizzy. Keep that thing away, right?" Even at kindergarten.
What part of the animal is that?
What even is that?
Well, talking about it, have you eaten animal dick?
What?
No, I actually,
it's a valid question.
I don't think
for this conversation.
No, I get it. I never actually.
Yeah. Okay, so number one.
What's your top?
I've never, but if I was to try, I hear, whales plentiful. I don't know.
Oh shit,
it's fatty.
A lot of blubber.
Got a fatty.
Girth.
Got a fatty.
A lot of girth. So number 2 is what?
I've had horse meat.
Hey, what is going on?
Yeah, I've had horse meat.
What is going on?
It tastes like roast beef. I'll say that's
horse meat, but you never had. Okay.
I had that in Kazakhstan. It was pretty good. It was solid, but
how did they prepare it? What was it? Based?
Man, I think it was.
Did they?
It was almost the same prep for like roast beef because it tastes like roast beef.
Did you eat it like in a sandwich with bread, like Arby's?
So I ate it over. It was over some noodles.
Oh shit, horse and noodles. Damn.
Yeah, so
that's fire.
So the meal it's called beshbermark, and I think in Kazakh it means 5 fingers.
Okay.
Because nomads would eat it with like they would use the noodle as like a bread.
Oh snap!
And they would eat the meat in the noodle. And there's soup. It's actually soup under it as well.
That sounds really good, actually.
I'd try. I'd try some horse meat.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably get it at like I think there's like some Uzbek restaurants.
They cook horse meat in America.
So you say Kazakhstan?
Yeah, Central Asia.
Like Borat, Kazakhstan?
Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
that, honestly, I went with a group and they were like,
Very nice.
They're like, yo, you look like very nice. I come to film in Great USA.
Hold on, were you doing it out there?
I was. Yeah.
You had to.
Listen, my group was like, yo, I just met my hero. It's Borat. And I'm like, I'll play the part for you.
Yeah, you have to.
I have to. I'm a good sport. But yo, you know what's crazy?
What?
That's funny as
Our
shit.
local guide, he was from Kyrgyzstan. His name was Azamat, like
Oh.
Borat's partner
Yo,
in the
that's
movie.
so fucking funny.
Yo, that was wild.
So,
Azamat.
let me just ask this: like, who wakes up one day, right, and is like, "Damn, I'm gonna go to Borat's hometown."
Me.
But why? Like, what?
He saw the movie, was like, I gotta go.
I'm bored.
Oh, you saw the movie? He said, "I'm bored."
I'm bored.
All right. So I love it. We went to number 2, number 3. I gotta hear number 3.
Yeah.
Don't you
In
say
terms of
something
weirdest
crazy.
foods?
Yeah.
I guess stuffed intestines with rice.
Whose intestines were stuffed?
I think
What
it's,
animal was
Yeah, I was
that?
gonna say.
I think it was. This is in
You
Palestine.
don't even know?
I think it was a goat's intestines. Yeah, it was. It's a very odd like texture. I think it's the layer,
yeah.
kind of like how you're scared of the hot dog.
Yeah.
It's that layer that is
Yeah.
like, huh. But the rice in it was solid, I guess. Not like solid, like consistency, but it was good.
Okay, but the intestine was not.
It just was weird. Like I didn't hate it, but it was weird.
But you, someone who travels so much, right? Like going to somewhere like that and not having to like forcefully try, but like getting offered or eating something like that in front of the people, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't
say no, man.
say no, and you can't
say no.
like
And
gag.
they might offer you more. Man.
Oh, he likes it. Give him some
he likes it. Like, oh shoot, I just thought this was a courtesy. Like, well, this is a courtesy too.
Okay. All right,
You ate it
so
too quick. That's what happened.
That's the problem. You got to take your time.
You gotta take your time and like
before we went
dialogue
on
with it.
air, we were talking about coffee. So who has the best coffee?
Ooh,
Make someone
one.
happy, make someone mad. Like who has the best coffee right
In
now?
the world,
Yes.
or
In the
you want like a
world.
shop?
No,
no
whatever.
way.
It
No,
could be
we're-
somewhere
yeah, worldwide.
specific. Like where could you be like, this is the place that I had the best coffee?
Honestly, so it's not like a place, but in terms of like regions that have the best coffee, at least in today's day, it's South America. I would say because the most popular ones, especially if you get even the K cups, it's Colombian coffee.
The what?
The Keurig cup.
The Keurig cups.
The K
K
cup.
cup. I thought you were like that's
Yeah.
like Korean shit.
Some slang, bro. You gotta get
Okay.
with it.
I'm sorry, I don't drink coffee, but
Oh,
I knew
man.
that people love coffee, and I felt like they needed to know who
Yeah.
has the best coffee in the world right now.
So I'll tell you this. So within Latin America, especially, Costa Rica loves their coffee so much that there's even coffee beans on their flag. Like
Yeah.
it's
whoa.
in the seal
Yeah,
of their flag. There's coffee beans
That's
like literally there. Colombia has some amazing ones, but the biggest like exporter of coffee in the world because of how good it is Brazil, because their climate and
Mhm.
all of that allows it.
Have you been to Brazil?
I've never been to Brazil, but
you gotta go
I
get
made
the
a Brazilian
coffee.
friend on my trip, and he would like
Kazakhstan?
in Kazakhstan, yeah.
Yo, what the hell?
Yeah, and so we would just talk about like, he
Yeah.
would get me like, because it was mostly a tea culture. He was like, hey, I know you like coffee, and so he would get me like coffee bags as like
Do you
a
keep in
gift.
touch with these people you meet randomly?
Yeah, every now and then, yeah. But
That's
especially
cool.
with this group, because it was 14 of us, I've been keeping up with them, and we want to like do future trips together.
That's awesome, man. Have you gone anywhere in like Russia or like that? Like
No,
Kazakhstan's the closest
the
you can
closest
get,
I
right?
got to
Yeah.
Russia and China. So
you
Kazakhstan,
said you went to
Kyrgyzstan.
Egypt.
Yeah, when I was 10, we went to Egypt for like
Okay.
winter break. This is when I was living in Palestine, so that was like a short flight from
You're like
Jordan.
a flag connoisseur. I don't know if that's
yeah,
a thing.
Yeah, there's actually a word for it.
I would imagine you would have looked into it because it's almost like
Yeah.
a profession in its own right.
Yeah, so if you guys want to know, the study of flags is called, this is my nerding out, it's going to scare all the
Love
girls.
it. No, I love it.
So the
No,
science,
dude.
the study
No
of
girls
flags.
listen to this show.
It's fine. Yeah, I figured. No, I'm kidding. No, so the study of flags is called vexillology. Vexillology is the study of flags.
Vexillology.
And a vexillologist is someone who studies flags.
So you're they're a vexillologist.
I would say so, because this is not something you can major in. It's something you have to be interested in. A vexy?
Vexy is a vexer, bro. That sounds.
Oh, there you go.
Vexy sounds super.
But it's not something you can study. You just it's not something you can major in. You just have to really like it and go into it.
You kind of study on your own.
So that's crazy. So what if you had to pick a favorite flag? And don't say Palestine, because that's the easy answer.
It's not my favorite
flag. And don't you
say
the Confederate flag either,
no,
we don't like that around here.
Honestly, so I answered this on our mutual friend Shamir. He asked me the same question, and actually we talked about it. I liked Kazakhstan's flag. I really do. Like I've always liked its design.
Describe it for someone who's blind.
All right. So imagine a rectangle.
Yeah, I'm with you so far.
Okay, here we go.
You didn't lose me yet.
So the background, light blue, or kind of a light blue. And on the side where the pole would be, there's a really cool design that's based on like a golden ram's horn.
Whoa.
It's like really a wild design. And actually, in Kazakhstan, a lot of buildings, if you see a traditional pattern on some buildings, it's that design from their flag.
A horn from a ram?
Well, it's like a whole column of like a cool design, but it's based on
ram. Is that their national animal?
Their national animal, I believe, is like a golden eagle. A steppe eagle. Yeah.
They try and be like us.
So and the eagle is on their flag. So they have an eagle that's flying.
They actually use their eagles to hunt, though. Like
I've seen that.
I saw some eagle hunting while I was there.
Really?
In Kyrgyzstan, the neighbor.
Like you watched the eagle hunt?
Yeah, I watched the eagle.
So they're huge, right?
The dude trains the eagle. The dude it's a pet eagle.
Should have got a falcon.
Literally, sometimes it's passed down between like the skill is passed between like families, like generations of like your eagle hunter.
Yeah, it's some trippy shit. Like those.
Do
are
they
cool
breed the eagles? Do you know if they do?
I believe so. Like they raise them since they're young, and they train them too. And they're huge, man.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
I remember watching a documentary. I don't think it was somebody. Maybe it was somebody from the region you're talking about, or maybe somewhere in between that region. But he was it was showing him catching a wild one and essentially breaking it. I guess how they do wild horses.
Yeah,
the same way.
Man.
But animals, so talking about the national animal thing, I've seen once you did a video on that too.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because I thought the most interesting thing about that video were how you're talking about there's countries that have mythical animals as their national animal.
That's true.
It was, who had the unicorn?
Scotland.
Scotland
is really big on that unicorn.
I forget what country it is. They used to have an AK and they got rid of it now, but they had an AK-47 in their flag.
Oh, there's still countries that have it.
Yeah.
So, countries that
Chicago.
have Chicago, Chirac. Is that a country?
Nah, they got the switch. They don't got the
the glizzies. That's what they got.
The glizzy flag.
I mean, it's valid. So, who has the AK flag now?
So the one with the AK flag that I know is Mozambique.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it has a bayonet.
I thought they got rid of it.
No, they still have it. Okay, it's been there for a while.
Mozambique.
Yeah.
Guatemala also has like a rifle on their flag as well.
Guatemala.
Yeah, Guatemala. Yeah,
I think it has a bayonet as well, if I recall.
Who has the weirdest thing on their flag?
The weirdest thing?
Object. Like who has a weird object?
Weird object.
Or like why is
something that's out of place.
Something that's out of place.
This is man. You're gonna. I'll tell you. So basically, whenever you post the video of it, you have to really zoom in on this like flag to see it. So in Ecuador's flag, there's a seal. A lot of Latin American flags have like a symbol, like a seal, like very detailed coat of arms.
Yeah.
If you zoom in, there's a tugboat inside of it, and it has like a mini Ecuador flag on the tugboat. So there's like a flag within the flag.
Oh, that's hilarious. So you got to really zoom in.
You have to really zoom in on this boat,
like
in the
on
flag.
The cover of Little Mermaid. You have to zoom in, and there's dicks.
Hold on, what? Yeah, hold on. You threw me off.
Y'all don't know about that?
I don't know about
Brandon,
this one.
You know about that?
Yeah.
See, my man Brandon know about it on the cover of Little Mermaid.
The original
Why
one?
do you know that?
Because we know, history, we know dumb shit. All right? So that's how this works. That's why this works so well.
I appreciate it. We need balance. Like.
Yeah, we need balance here. No, but if you, on the cover of Little Mermaid, if you zoom in somewhere, there's like a golden penis or something.
The original VHS on that cover.
Yeah, on that cover. Okay. There's like hidden stuff in all that Disney stuff.
Damn. I believe it.
It's a dark empire.
All the Disney movies, they're all, I mean, none of them are original. It's all based on
something else.
Like either the Grimm Brothers stories or like weird other
folk tales and shit. Like,
Hans Christian, whoever that guy is. So there's like weird stories they've taken from him. Like the whole Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I thought was Japanese. I thought it was Japanese originally. Quasimodo.
Aladdin is Aladdin one of those.
Aladdin.
No, Aladdin.
Did you guys ever? I'm sure you guys have gone as Aladdin for Halloween.
No,
I haven't.
Never. Wow,
I'm impressed. I wasn't allowed for Halloween, bro. Like I was.
People would say I look like Aladdin, but I don't relate to Aladdin.
Yeah,
Aladdin's more like the Arabic corridor. Like,
is it?
Yeah. I'm Mowgli.
Oh, really?
Like that's who I relate more to.
You got a Baloo?
Yeah, dude. I'm more like, just wearing boxers, naked, Pakistani guy. I relate to him more Mowgli. Yeah.
That's funny like, shit.
And what made me mad about Aladdin is it was voiced by, have y'all ever seen who Aladdin was voiced by?
No, I haven't.
He's like the whitest dude ever.
That makes sense.
His name's like Chris Wanger or something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah,
he looks like a Chris.
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, who wants to see a Disney movie with the real accents, right?
Yo, actually, that'd be hilarious.
Yo, have you ever seen the Honest trailer for Aladdin?
Amish?
Honest. The Honest trailer.
I was like, I'm in.
Yes.
Amish Aladdin is essentially who he already is. The beard.
They kind of oh shit.
Jafar. Have I seen the Honest?
Yeah, so there used to be, I don't know if it's still there or not, but there was this thing on YouTube called Honest Trailers, and they would just tell you what the movie straight up is about. And like they went in on Aladdin pretty hard. It was like it's about this dude that's trying to marry. It's about this creep uncle that's trying to marry this kindergarten kid.
Honest, I love it. Yeah.
That shit was funny as fuck.
Well, I mean, if you go back and watch Aladdin, all that stuff was like brutally true to the like. Well, cut off your arm if you steal a banana. You know what I mean? Like,
and he was using like the stick as a fucking like to hypnotize the dude and shit.
Oh my gosh!
Is that
the father?
Oh, because it's snake charming? What?
Yeah, no, I don't know what the fuck. I was just saying in the movie.
Am I just making it more racist right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So hold on, with stories, I just thought of something like, do you take in the folklore or any stories from these regions or like things that seem to be like, legend of the area?
Yeah, actually, I have a good example.
Yeah, tell me.
Of one. And even though like some of them might be folklore or even mythology, it does like you learn a lot about like even like the fun things in the culture or there's random things. But I guess you're familiar with what a troll is, right?
Yeah.
Trolls are really big in like Norway, like the mythology or folklore in Norway.
Oh yeah, like the whole troll under the bridge.
Yeah, so
that's where that comes from, right?
So
like
the word like troll is Norwegian.
Oh.
Like so basically
all the troll farms are in fucking Norway.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so I remember I said hiking. Norwegia. That's a pretty nice name. Norway.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Norwegia.
I had to correct myself on the history podcast.
Hey, I mean, in Arabic, to say Norway, it's Norwegian. So,
whoa, dude,
you're all right.
You're gonna get us canceled. You do not say that 3 times fast. Jesus Christ! Holy crap! Okay, so the trolls.
Yeah. So I guess centuries ago. If let's say, because Norway is a cold place and in the winter it can get really dark because of how north it is. Let's say there would be stories of, hey, this person went missing. Oh, the troll probably got him. So that would be the explanation of why, a disappearance happened or something like dark happened. And I guess the word troll, what someone explained to me is that like troll or troll in Norwegian refers to something of like maybe black magic or
I was gonna say it sounds like a serial killer made this shit up.
Or
how do you say it in Norwegian?
I think it's a troll.
Troll. Say it.
The R becomes like a
troll. It's like a troll.
Troll.
We sound like
I might be saying it wrong too. Okay. I might be finessing
it.
it
sounds. I just wanted to learn how to say it like
some
that.
random shit. That's what you got to say.
I just wanted to say it like they say.
Brandon, you try to say it.
Yeah, they sell the troll souvenirs, man.
He does every accent exist.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. He probably can say exactly like him.
So the trolls, they would just use it. I mean, it's like
they're like dark spirits, basically, in a way. And yeah, you can get there's a bunch of troll souvenirs you can get.
Oh, did you get one?
No, bro. They were scary. These like souvenirs were scary. I did not want any of them. Like I did not want a single one. Hell no.
Yeah.
And damn. So okay. So you got the trolls in Norway. You got the unicorns in Scotland.
Yeah.
Is that where unicorns come from?
Probably. Have you seen the Scottish like Highlands, bro?
So hold on. So maybe the original unicorn was like a deformed horse in Scotland.
Maybe.
That's what they found. Like
a troll fucked up a horse. And made a fucking unicorn.
Horse?
A fucked up a horse.
Okay.
Like,
sorry.
What the fuck?
That would have made more sense if they had a baby and they made. Okay. Anyway, enough of the troll fucking. So, are you gonna go back to Egypt to like when you went at 10 years old?
Yeah.
I'm sure you absorb things different being older now, right? Like in your elder age, not that you're old like us, but like where have you gone as of late?
Like past year. So I went to so I did Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, most recent.
Okay.
I went to the UAE on my way to go to Palestine to visit my family.
And the UAE, for our people who don't know what that is what?
That's the place where Dubai is.
Saudi Arabia?
I've never been to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
But yeah, UAE, Palestine right after, and I went to San Diego and Tijuana, so that was like cool.
Dude, Tijuana's there. That's their third world country.
Bro, it's a wild place, man. But I had a good time.
You came back
there
with all your organs and everything?
Yeah, I came back with everything, bro.
Kidney.
Little day trip on a Monday.
Oh, so you were in San Diego and then
San Diego,
went
crossed
into Tijuana.
Yeah, convinced my friend like, hey.
I was gonna say you did not do that alone.
No, it was in the daytime, and both him and I are like tall people, so we're like, I think we could do this.
Tall
like,
people.
So he'll protect me. I think.
Let me ask you. So you naming a lot of like warmer climates. What's the coldest place you've been?
So I actually have been to the North Pole.
I knew you.
That's
the coldest. That's the coldest thing ever.
Yo,
yeah.
How the hell did you eat with Santa?
Yeah, reindeer. I had reindeer.
Yo.
So you
ate Rudolph?
I ate Rudolph, bro.
You know the only difference between reindeer and caribou?
What's that? No, what's the difference?
I'm giving this man knowledge.
Yeah,
right
give it to me.
And you got to fact check me after this because I don't know if this is right.
I'll believe you for now.
A reindeer just means that you put caribou in a fence.
Ah.
Hold on, what?
A reindeer is when you put caribou inside an enclosed fence.
A domesticated, forced domestication.
Yeah. Huh. For real.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. On the side just to make sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you ate caribou.
How was that prepared?
It wasn't like some gravy, man. It was.
Yo, you went to the North Pole and ate Rudolph, dog? Hold on. This is crazy right now.
How'd you end up in the North Pole? And like,
that's how COVID really started.
So the nerding out, the geographic North Pole is water. Like it's just the ocean. But the closest you can get, and you're in the Arctic Circle, is an island called Svalbard. Svalbard has the northernmost inhabited area of the world. And so there's a town on this island that has about 2,000 people. And you can live and work there visa free. So no matter where you're from in the world. What they look
like.
Oh shit.
What's up?
What they look like.
The people?
Yeah.
No, so there's no...
I'm curious. You said they got 2,000 people living at the North Pole. I need to know more.
So I'll tell you this. So Svalbard has no native population. The natives are penguins and polar bears.
Okay.
So it's run by Norway. So it's technically under Norway.
Enough said.
But half of them are from like mainland Norway. The other half from all over the world. So like I met a Jordanian there. I met Filipinos there. I met like a French person there.
You said you said you need no visa, and what was it?
Yeah, so you don't need a visa to live or work there. It has its own even though it's under Norway, it has slightly different rules. And the people that live there work in either tourism or logistics, like shipping. And yeah, like it's sounds a really cool place.
Cult. You're explaining now.
But bro, it was 24 hours darkness when I was there because it was December.
Yeah.
Like imagine you wake up at 8 a.m., you have your breakfast, and then it's 9 a.m. and you're like, what do I do now? It's dark.
What's the weirdest part about like midday and like after you get over that feeling of like what's
bro, like you really feel this like seasonal depression is on the other spectrum here. Like you're not at this point I hadn't seen the sun in like a few days. And because it's just constantly dark, and it just gets you down. And then when I flew back to mainland Norway, I went to an area where it was like sunny. And
were you immediately happy?
I wasn't immediately. I was just like,
he's like, your eyes just like, oh
yeah, dude. It was hard to process. I felt like dizzy. You're like, man, that's the sun.
It's like you were hibernating.
Yeah, dude, you actually feel like you actually feel dizzy. I will say.
So I gotta ask this now because I'm curious because, like, when I'm in like the North Shore in Hawaii or like somewhere in West Virginia, there's no light pollution, and I see the stars in like a totally different way. What does the sky look like from the North Pole?
Bro, it's beautiful, man. And there's
like, can you see the Milky Way?
You
like
saw the Northern Lights.
Oh wow,
it was gorgeous,
all the
bro.
Lights. Damn, that's
because you're so far up north, you don't need it to be cold to see it. You need the sky to be clear.
Yeah,
if it's cloudy or it's raining, you're not going to see them.
Yeah.
Did you see any UFOs?
I cannot disclose that
because that's where they all are at, supposedly. So this you're in this weird place with 2,000 people named what again?
So the island is called Svalbard.
Oh, it's an island.
The island's called Svalbard. The town is called Longyearbyen.
Long-beard what?
Longyearbyen.
Long year good?
Longyearbyen. Yeah.
Longyearbyen.
Yeah, Longyearbyen.
Long year, like the word long year.
Yeah, so because it's named after an American guy actually. His name was like Longyear, his last name. But then Bien, Byen, I believe in like Norwegian means like town or city. So it's like the city of Mr. Longyear.
So you're there for a couple days.
So I was there at that specific area for 2 days, and yeah, it was very interesting.
Okay, that was a good question with the coldness. How about this? Okay, talk about cold places? Talk about desert region. Anywhere like tropical rainforesty, like
that I've been to. So it's not that I went to the rainforest, but I went to Malaysia, and Kuala Lumpur is kind of built on a rainforest. And so Kuala Lumpur is a beautiful city, guys. Like it's very well developed, very well connected, super diverse, amazing food. You have Malay, Indian, and Chinese cultures, different religions, pretty developed, like I said. And also what's really nice about it is they're one of the most like, I guess, eco-friendly big cities. So there's so many parks and nature areas. Whoa. So you can go, they have like one of the largest outdoor bird parks where you can see like peacocks and flamingos and like
outdoor
cranes.
Bird park?
Yeah, like they're like birds from like Southeast Asia.
So hold on, it's like there's no enclosure.
It's just a net. Like it's just like that's the only thing above. That's really it. So they're still going through like their trees and like areas.
It's like how big does this have to be?
It's pretty huge. Like,
but that's a giant net just over this giant area.
Because
when I think of bird, like if you ever been to the zoo or something, you know how those bird enclosures are, right?
Yeah,
you're talking what, like 10 times that? Like
probably, yeah. I mean, I spent like a little over an hour like walking around this place.
That's definitely more than 10 times. That's just big as shit.
Yeah, I was walking
around.
For you
to be able to be in it too.
Yeah,
like
was there bird poop everywhere?
No, honestly, it was pretty solid. Like I didn't have to, like there wasn't much mess, I would say. But it was just cool. You can just like interact with the birds. Really, like really some of them are free. They're just walking around.
What does that mean? You interact with the birds?
As in like they're not all of them are caged. I think the very rare or maybe
so you're
endangered
like walking
ones.
up to a peacock and like
you can actually like pet it. If it'll let you. But there's like, you can walk around by trees and then there's a peacock just in the tree, just chilling. Or like
That's crazy.
Or like you're eating lunch and then a flamingo just pops up and he's like
Give me
your burger. Like, word. It's like, yes, Dad.
That's awesome.
Ostriches, but also I was gonna say there's other like kind of jungle parks where you can see like the monkeys that are from Malaysia.
Are they the ones that steal?
Are you talking about like the macaque ones?
Oh, okay,
yeah. So no, there are the ones that steal.
Assholes.
Yeah, those are like, I think the long tail ones are the ones that like, I think they might be the chill ones, but the ones with the shorter tails are the more aggressive, I believe.
So that's how we. Hold on. Are you telling me that the tail length is going to determine their criminality?
That's what I've just noticed. But also the ones with the long tail are like much like skinnier.
This is a great observation you're making.
Right now. The ones with the long tail, they're much like slimmer, more lanky, and then the other ones are more aggressive. Like if you look at them like in the eyes, they will probably they'll take it as a fight.
They're so insecure. What is wrong with them?
That's a macaque monkey.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So you mentioned you went to the North Pole, like polar bears and all that shit, right? What was your craziest animal encounter?
Craziest animal encounter? Bison in Yellowstone, probably.
Like wild bison?
Well, they're just in the park because I mean,
so relatively wild.
The U.S. kind of wiped out a lot of the whole bison population. The ones that they didn't get, so it was like a consolation. But it was like me and my friend were just driving through Yellowstone, and it's a big, really big park, and we're just tired. It's near the end of the day. I'm like, where's the animals at? I want to see bison, because if I don't see one, this trip was not worth it. And we look in the distance because it's an empty road, and then all of a sudden I see like a brown like speck in the distance. I'm like, holy crap, that's a tank! And then we're like, yo, stop the car. Because usually you want to stop this car. This thing is bigger than the whole car.
Do not be one of those Japanese tourists hopping out.
Oh yeah, just taking pictures,
running up to.
Yeah, dude, it was huge. So we let it pass by, kept going forward, and then we just saw like a whole herd.
Oh shit!
And the way they growl, and it's like
growl.
They're like whoa, yeah. Basically, they're telling the cars, get out the way. We're trying to go to that like field over there. Whoa. So you have to listen, like
you get to turn around.
Yeah, like there were so many, and it's just like you also just think to yourself, what could provoke these animals? Like what slight move could like provoke it to think I'm like a danger?
Like you might go up to turn around, and like they might attack when
they might think I'm like going up to like their kid or something.
When you say that, it makes me like imagine like a time where like they were like Native Americans were just chasing them down.
Yeah. But you know, at least for them, that was like in their part of their culture and diet and stuff. But you know, white Americans sport.
Oh yeah. I'm not
removing people.
Yo, you might know this because this is kind of relative to this. Horses. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about like? Because isn't this? They say like horses aren't where are they indigenous to?
Central Asia, so Kazakhstan actually. So
back to Kazakhstan.
Literally, horses were first like domesticated in I guess what is now Kazakhstan.
So is it everywhere else in the world? Is it import from Kazakhstan horses?
Pretty much. I mean, in a way, because think about
like the Adam and Eve of horses was in Kazakhstan.
Because think about like, let's say in a historic perspective, like the Silk Road went through Central Asia, so you had a huge trade route to the rest of like the Middle East and Europe.
What is the Silk Road?
The Silk Road was a large, like it was basically like a huge trade network
in
that
linked early 2000s that they got the dark web.
Basically, like sent over like 1,000 years ago. It's just linked different cultures, religions of like different foods, different markets. So there were cities on the Silk Road that like flourished from the amount of business and trade that were going through. People wanted to sell stuff, new foods, new spices, new interactions.
Spice Road a thing?
There are like spice routes, like there's also a lot of like sea routes as well. Because I think the Silk Road itself, it wasn't just like a land route, but the main one was land.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of like sea routes, especially.
That's crazy to think about the whole like ocean traversing.
Yeah. Just how people interacted and like, even how like science would be developed through these areas.
Like the Mayflower, they sent 100 people on the Mayflower.
The explorers, like that's some crazy shit.
They all made it.
Yeah,
apparently.
Man,
I think even there was like 2 kids that were born.
Yeah, that's some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
It must have been a scary ass time. Like you had all this fucking ocean. Like you don't know where you actually are, so you're just gonna guess.
Yeah.
Like last time he went this way, and like he came back and said he was all right. So,
well, did he come back?
We gotta go look for. That's the thing. You gotta go look for the dude that's lost.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of cruises.
Oh,
even modern day, right?
I don't really like cruises,
I can't think about back in the day, gangrene and everything. They're just scurvy,
just emptiness.
I don't even know what that is.
Like they're looking for the One Piece, bro. Just
right. Yeah. The One Piece just.
It's just curiosity that led you out there to begin with, because like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was like, I have questions, but maybe I'll have more after I'm back.
I mean, that's usually what happened, right?
Yeah.
It's like, especially when. Supposedly Columbus, but Columbus isn't really the first person to hit America.
No, hell no.
He's not even the first European to hit the Americas.
It's not even close,
They say it was East Asians that were the first ones, right?
So there's some theories about it. Well, if you're talking about from the other side,
let's talk hypothetical theories. We got all the facts, right? Like, what's your thoughts and knowledge on, like, say, the populating of the Americas?
Populating of the Americas. So at least in terms of, because, thousands of years has always been migrations, but one big migration, at least into North America, was through Siberia. So imagine like where Alaska is and where Russia is, they're really close. But imagine at some point that was just a land bridge. Like at one point it was just ice, an ice sheet, not like a little. I think they call it the Bering Strait.
The Bering Strait or something like that?
Yeah.
Bering Strait.
Yeah. So that, instead of it just being like, because the closest border we have to Russia is these 2 islands. One of them is called Big Diomede Island, that's in Russia, and then Little Diomede Island. And they're technically, I think they're about like 23 hours apart.
Whoa.
Even though they're like a few miles away, like 3 miles, I believe, away.
Okay.
So that's our closest border to Russia, those islands. But imagine thousands of years, or like hundreds or thousands of years ago, that was like a land bridge. So a lot of these people from Siberia today, like they look like similar to like the natives of Alaska or of like Canada and even Greenland. Which is part of North America as well. So imagine like, people would cross through land to these areas. And then, if they migrate south to a slightly warmer area, their looks will change, their diet's going to change, how they build society will change.
So is that the popular theory that they kind of came from the north and populated South America?
So I'm not too sure in terms of South America, but that's just like one example of into North America.
Because I would think if someone's in the South, I mean, this is my dumb brain thinking right now, right? But if people are in the South, people are in the North, they're eventually going to diverge.
Yeah, like
converge.
I mean, also there were like, even people in like South America, well, if you think about this, like Polynesians, from the Pacific Islands were some of the best like sailors and navigators.
That's how they got to Hawaii.
Ever. Like one of the most continuously inhabited areas, or you could say one of the oldest people that are still like, I guess, consistent over thousands of years are the natives of Australia. Like,
like the Aboriginals?
Yeah. Like they're like probably the oldest.
I mean, you can see it when you look at them.
Yeah.
Like their features of like, and characteristics are so profound. So like, this is a different type of human being, right?
Yeah.
Here.
And imagine their other cousins across the Pacific Ocean. They were also finding islands and finding areas, or that they thought were islands maybe thousands of years ago. That's like kind of how people found like Hawaii, let's say.
Yeah.
But just imagine like how impressive this was for navigation. Like these guys, like, surfing is like a big part of like the culture in like Hawaii, for example. But that's surfing is like a descendant of these other sailing activities that they were doing.
True. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I never
it's pretty
thought
cool.
About it that way.
Yeah,
just
is
like
cool.
It links a lot,
I mean, the whole world is got to be in one way, shape, or form linked, right?
Yeah, everything's connected some way, some form. Like,
do you go deep into like the archaeology, not the archaeology of it, but like more of like these theories of like the origination of man and like those type of things?
Every now and then, I think because it's so far back and so deep, and that there's
We'll never know.
There's way more theories on it.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll never know. But the thing is with history as well is you discover something, and then with that you create more theories, which might cancel out older theories. Like, this happened. These other 5 ideas, they're negated. After I saw this.
Your way of thinking has to
and especially with technology, computer science, just AI maybe soon. Who knows what we'll be able to really discover?
Yeah.
I mean, we was drinking milk. Right, we had a whole milk campaign.
Think about this, like the rendering of old cities, like cities that existed maybe like 10,000 years ago. It's like, okay, hey, there was a spring here. A spring would imply that people were here. If people were here, then maybe other people were. Then maybe, there was some battles here. So that means that this area was fortified, let's say. They had enemies and they had a fresh water source. They had to protect it. So you get ideas of this, and you can draw parallels between, like, let's say the Americas or Asia or like Central Africa or something.
Yeah, I definitely subscribe to the idea of there being lost civilizations and just even the Younger Dryas theory and all that stuff. They talk about the Great Flood and these cataclysms that have happened over time and time again on Earth.
I mean, the Amazon rainforest, like, there were some cities discovered there.
Yeah.
It's funny
with LiDAR and these new stuff they're doing. They're finding more stuff.
Yeah, I think when they started tearing the stuff down, the trees down, they're starting to find, like, wait a minute, this is
pyramids. Let's say
they're finding a whole bunch of shit down there. It's like,
I bet at the North Pole where you was at, they probably got stuff under the ice. Stuff.
I don't think so. But
all right, we're sending them in right now. I gotta go. Hey, cut that out. Cut that out.
There's coal though.
He found ice and water. Very cold water.
He's here.
You go ice fishing?
Never been ice fishing.
Question.
I've been fishing once in my life.
My man.
And that was in the Chesapeake Bay.
My man. My man.
We loyal. Maryland, baby. Salute.
So outside of, what about Maryland history? We got 20 minutes left, 15 minutes left with you. What about Maryland history?
Man, what you want?
Are you into it?
I think I'm not. I think Baltimore is pretty interesting in terms of like history. Baltimore, whatever. I think the Maryland flag is pretty interesting because
talk to me about it. Why? This is a great thing. You know why? Because I'm gonna say something. Living in Maryland as long as I've lived at it, what is going on with our flag?
Our NASCAR Renaissance flag.
Like, what is going? You ever thought about that? Like, what is the flag? Is kind of crazy. It's like an autistic flag.
Yeah.
Like, if you really look at it.
But we from here think it's artistic. But the rest of us think it's.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, that is what he said, right?
So what? Tell me about the Maryland flag.
All right. So we'll start with Baltimore.
Okay.
So the European founder of Maryland his title was like the Baron of Baltimore. One of those like heraldry titles from England or whatever.
Baron of Baltimore. That's a dope mixtape title.
Baron of
Somebody
Baltimore,
needs to use that.
Yeah, so his name I think was either John or George Calvert, which is how you get Calvert County.
Oh, okay.
Which is in Maryland. So Calvert. So a lot of European families had like shields or family designs or symbols, like family seals, And so his family, the Calvert family, their family design was the yellow and black design on the flag of Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So when you go to Baltimore,
I'm up while you talk about it. Keep going.
The Baltimore flag itself is, I think it's like, it has a symbol, but it only shows that design, the black and yellow design, because the Baron of Baltimore from the Calvert family. So those are the Calvert colors. So
the yellow and black part.
Yeah. So look at Baltimore city flag.
Okay.
It'll make more sense when you see it. So now what about the crosses, the red and white? That is the Crossland family. The Crossland family is his mother's family. So the Baron of Baltimore of the Calvert family, his mother was from the Crossland family. So he took his father's like family design and his mother's family design.
And he mixed them together.
Hey,
the Baltimore city flag, just by itself, that joint look tight.
Yeah.
Right, it kind of hits.
The joint do be tight. Yeah,
yeah, that actually hits.
Man.
But then so then the red, interesting.
What this dude look like?
George Calvert. Yeah,
is that George Calvert?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
He looked like he's from Baltimore.
Bro.
He looked like he's from Baltimore.
He's a shit.
In the face.
Dummy.
Dummy.
That's a dummy. Oh man.
Yo, that's so crazy.
But it's
I never knew that. Brandon, you know that? You knew that about the flag?
No.
But I'll tell you this: in the Civil War, because Maryland was like in between, like a buffer state. People that were with the Union used the black and yellow design, and the rebels, the Confederates, used the red and white cross design. So
our flag is like, hey, we're be racist everywhere anyway.
So
we got it all. We got half racist, half not.
So
which equals out for Maryland.
So the flag you see today is kind of like a reconciliation, okay, Maryland, which was divided back together, divided ideologically.
Reconcile is a great word for that situation.
No, but originally, it's the family. It's called the founder of Maryland. His family's
so the Calverts
designs.
and the Crosslands.
Calverts and the Crosslands, and that's what the designs are called: Calvert and Crossland design.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Like officially, they're called Calvert and Crossland.
Whoa! Yeah. Is the Crossland insignia or symbol or whatever, is that used anywhere else? Like, or is
I don't know if there's any other families that have it, but like I said, that's his mother's family, so the Crosslands.
Oh yeah, so
that's why he put that.
Got it. So that was like a shout out to his mom.
Shout out mom and dad.
Yeah, shout out mom and dad. Forgive me, Baltimore. Thanks, mom and daddy.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my parents were better.
Dummy.
Actually, I don't know. I would say, I'll give me somewhere else. I don't want Baltimore. I'll take somewhere else. Man. Today was an interesting podcast, dude. We definitely got to bring you back. I feel like so enlightened today.
I feel like we just touched the surface. There's a lot more to go into.
Oh,
I have way more questions.
Man.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Social media. Hit your social media.
So social media is at Haithumi. It's HAITHOOOMI. Haithumi. So on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as well.
I look at his page all the time when I'm just like, whoa, scrolling, you know what I mean? Getting facts.
With that exact face.
Yeah, you know what I mean? With my hoodie tucked up, just looking at the joint. Like, this
I
is
appreciate
crazy.
that.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate that.
I like the way you put your videos together. I think it's fun. It's great.
Thank you.
We're on Instagram at Did You Order Podcast. You can find both me and Ish's Instagrams on there. And we'll be back next with the Halloween episode.
Okay.
Halloween episode.
Going as Aladdin?
After this.
You got to go as Aladdin.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Oh, come on.